Well, we're back in the studio. Thankfully, my camera is completely done. This might be a little off here. I'd like to straighten it out some. So I'm going to try to get the whole view in here this time. I haven't set up my tracings yet on my website, only because I wanted you to view these entirely and then go back and do it. It's important to get the idea of what's happening here, because it is a little bit different from the other things that we have been doing. It's a little harder. So with that being said, I'm going to try something here. I don't know if it's going to work, probably not, but I have a camera set up on my palette, and I only have a few colors out today because we're just going to finish up these petals. I think we're almost done with this, really. I just have to get a few things done, and it'll be completed. So I'm going to start out. Of course, we have our brushes that we had the other day. I think I'm going to start with this filbert, the one that I have here. And I'm going to go into my yellow, and we're going to see if we can get this going. Maybe not. There we go. Alright, so we're going to see if this works. Okay, so you're going to see my head here and there every so often. Sorry about that. And I'm just going to, I'm kind of mixing a little bit here of light yellow. Just very pale yellow. I want to put it onto this leaf right here. So now remember, I'm going in the same direction that I feel that this is actually being curled over. You want it to come out and do what it was doing, you know, like it's growing that way. So that's the thing that we want to try to capture here, the way that it's growing. Sorry that my head's in the way, but it won't be here. So this is a very pale yellow. And then I'm going to mix some of that yellow and my azo orange, make a peach color, add a little of my white to that, and right in here it's kind of coming over. Oops, I don't want to get it on what I have already. Coming over, that might not be enough peachy against that. It's just kind of right in this little section right here. I'm going to kind of get a little bit more of that orange here on here, because I want that to be a little darker. And there's just a tad right on the edge here. So I'm going to be going back and forth here with a little bit of that yellow and kind of trying to blend it in. I want to blend that in. So make that leaf look like it's curling. Curling out. Or that petal. I should say petal, because this is a petal. So I'm just kind of pushing it in, pushing it in. I'm going to grab just a tad of white. Just a little bit, just to highlight this better. I'm using that filbert. It's a short handle. Okay. Alright, there we go. Alright, so let's see here now. We've got that red in, but I want to kind of like make a little bit of a glaze here. This orange color, I guess I should put some of my alizarin out also. That'll make a difference with this on my palette as well. I'm just going to stick that over here a little bit. Just a little bit that I need. I want to kind of make a glaze because this highlight right here is just very small. It's a very small glaze. I mean, very small piece of yellow that's coming through there. And I'm also using the Grumbacher. So let's mix a little bit of that with my orange, Azo orange. Add a little water to it because I want this to just be a glaze. Just a glaze on this. Just to kind of go over some of this. And then we're just, okay, this is kind of darker in through here. So I'm going to grab just a little bit more of my Alizari and put it into that orange that I just mixed. And make this just stand out a little bit more here. Same in here. It has to be darker. Okay. Same up in here. It's a little darker in through here. Just kind of go over this a little. Now with my pure Azo, I'm just gonna kind of go in there like that. Just bringing one down. Okay, there's a lot going on in this piece right here. A lot. Okay, and let me get a little bit more of that darker. It's a little bit of a bend here, so it comes in and twists a little. This is a little bit like that. Just kind of bring that up a little bit, blend it up. Okay. Okay. Now, rinse out the brush. I'm going to get a smaller brush because I need a little bit of a detail here. So I'm going to be using my Lunar Blender. I just want to put a little bit more yellow there. I want that to stand out a bit. So I'm using bright yellow, basic bright yellow with some white. Touch it. Kind of just touch this in. There we go. And get some more of that just to come up. Blend it in nicely. Try to always blend your edges because you don't want hard edges on any of this. Okay, so this leaf has a bit of green and yellow and white. So, let me get my filbert again. This is like a yellow and a green, so I'm going to get some green. That's my Hooker's green, some of my yellow mix. Actually, I think what I have here is pretty good. And just kind of tap that in here. Kind of come down here with that. Okay. Now, since we really don't want to have pure white in our leaf, because I'm sure this picture that we have here, this photograph, no doubt has a little bit that's off. So our key here is to just make it like a pale, pale yellow. So that it's still yellow, but it looks white. We're going to come up, comes up like that. And it's basically like this yellow color. Okay. And that's that leaf. I'm just going to add a little bit of that light into this leaf also, because it is light right in through here, and also in through here a little bit. Just kind of lighten that up. Also on the edge, so you're just going to do a very light stroke there. Okay, so this here is our big leaf here, and I kind of made it come out, but I have this feeling that that leaf might be something that's coming up from here, and we don't see it, you know, like where it's coming from, because it's like coming down this way. So what I want to do, I'm just going to like highlight this a little bit more, give it a little bit more oomph. And kind of, it's probably coming down like here. So we're just going to do that. Just kind of like, so it looks like it's attached to something. I'm going to paint this in a little bit here with the Hooker's Green. There's not much you can do with this leaf here. We're just going to kind of paint it in the direction that the leaf would be growing. So it's probably coming out from that center. Just kind of, I mean, it's okay that my brush has a little bit of yellow in it, because that's what we want. We do want that. Kind of gives it a little bit like it has some texture. So we'll get the other side here. Just make sure that you're making the leaf in that direction that it would grow. You have to think about that when you're painting. The direction's very important. And you kind of just want to have that direction going, you know, so that it... Now this kind of almost here, sort of glazing it over a little bit. And I'm going to do that with this also, kind of glaze it over. I'm going to add a little bit of my raw umber to the palette. I want to get that in there a little bit. I don't see any other part that we need to do. Oh, wait, no, I think we got that part. I think this was it and this. And I might highlight that a little bit more, you know, just as we go. Now there's some darkness in this leaf here, so we don't want it to look flat. So I'm just dabbing my brush into that and just kind of getting some darkness in here where I think it might be. Maybe in through here a little bit. It's kind of like a dark green. Definitely here. We know that's darker. And there's some through here also. Now, this has veins in it. So I might just paint a few of those in. I don't want to go too much detail or any of that, because what's going to happen is if I put too much in, it'll just look all the, you know, really fake. So I'm going to go over this again. Just kind of like give it a little oomph. certain spots here. Oomph, oomph, oomph. Get that covered nicely. And maybe up here it is a little bit lighter, so I'm going to add a little bit of my yellow to my paintbrush. Now, as you can see, I am not washing or rinsing my brush. I don't want to do that. I'm just trying to get some depth, some dimension to this so it doesn't look flat. Don't want your paintings to be flat. That's a key when you're painting. You have to look at your painting and say, does this feel like it has some dimension? Because we're painting on a surface that's flat, and if you make your painting look flat without any like shading or detail, it can look amateurish. So you want to kind of give it that little bit of oomph just to get that detail bit. Now this here, I'm still working on that leaf there, but I just want to get a little bit of orange here. Just kind of go over this a little bit. Oh, maybe that's too light, too light. Get some darker orange here. I want to kind of glaze over this a little bit, just in the center. Okay, now this here could have been like something else, but it's got to be some sort of a leaf, so I'm just going to put it like that. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, I got to get my little detail brush. Let's see here. Where is it? Oh, here we go. So this is a script liner. I'm going to make some dark green. That's going to be some green, a little bit of brown in there. I want it nice and dark. I add a little water to it because I want it to be like ink-like, very ink-like. So I'm going to put these little veins in. Let's see if it's dark enough. Now I'm holding my brush back like this. Because I want the veins to be more natural. I don't want to be like I'm drawing them in. You know, I'm going to kind of like jiggle them around a bit. But just make sure that this is all kind of wet. Alright, so it must be recording. I don't know. But anyways, I want to just kind of go over this a little bit more here. I'm not really liking the way this is. So I'm going to go into my Hooker's Green. Just kind of like glaze over this a little bit more. I just want to kind of like make it look like it's a leaf, you know. Sometimes it's hard to do that. So I'm just glazing over. Probably some of my recording didn't work, and I apologize once again. Just having such issues with my camera. I mean, that's a good camera. I just don't know what it is. And I really can't afford to get another one right now, so let's hope that I can continue these videos. Ugh. Just put a little yellow up in here. Kind of give it a little pizzazz. And add a little bit of the brown, but I just want to get a little bit wet here. Just kind of giving it a little something in here. It's kind of a weird looking leaf actually, when you think about it. A little bit of yellow here just to go over that little stemmy thing there. Coming over around here also. Just kind of going over some of those little veins. Kind of getting just like a glaze. So a glaze is just adding some water to your acrylic or using one of those slow drying things, you know, like the Grumbach or slow drying, or just a glaze, just any kind of a medium. I want this to be dark over here because this is like shorter than the shadow. So let's get that darker. And we're still recording, hopefully. Don't know. Things are just not going the right way, are they? Okay, more glaze, more glaze, more glaze. I think we're good now. I think we're good. So now what I'm going to do, I'm finishing up. I'm going to sign it with my pen, and I have one of these painter's pens. I'm not sure if that even went anywhere before, but I'm just putting my initials on here. Alright, so what I want you to do now for this painting, I want you to watch the whole thing, all 4 parts. I'm going to actually put the stencil up, or the tracing. I'm going to also put the plasterized version as well. I want you to study the painting. I want you to study it. So you could just keep on updating it, changing it, whatever you feel is right. So hopefully things will work out with this camera. I'm not sure what's going on. It's always something. And don't forget to initial your painting. And until next time, happy painting. Bye.